My friends, prosperity is not an accident. It is the outcome of aligning your mind, your actions, and your spirit with God's divine plan. The Creator did not put you here to live in lack, but to live in abundance. Abundance of wisdom, abundance of love, abundance of health, and yes, abundance of material success. If you truly desire to prosper in all you do, you must walk God's path with discipline and faith. Today, I will give you 20 principles, 20 keys that will open the door to prosperity. To believe that God wants you to prosper is to lay the foundation upon which every other principle rests. Without this conviction, the mind is unstable, tossed around by doubt and fear. When you accept deep in your heart that prosperity is part of God's design for your life, you begin to see obstacles not as barriers, but as stepping stones. This belief infuses you with courage because you no longer think of success as uncertain. You see it as inevitable when you walk in faith. Many people fail before they even begin because they doubt whether success is meant for them. But if you settle this truth in your spirit, your journey will have the strength to endure storms. This belief is not wishful thinking. It is anchored in the very nature of creation. Look at the earth. It multiplies seeds into harvest, rivers flow endlessly, and the universe expands without limit. God's fingerprints are abundance, not scarcity. When you doubt whether prosperity belongs to you, remember that everything in creation reflects a God who multiplies. If He designed the stars to shine without ceasing, He has also designed you to shine in your purpose. To believe otherwise is to deny the divine order woven into life itself. The moment you embrace this belief, your thinking changes. You stop saying can't, and you begin to ask, how can I? Your energy shifts, your decisions become bolder, and opportunities seem to appear where none existed before. This happens because your belief reshapes your perspective. A mind anchored in the conviction of God's desire to prosper you sees possibility where others see impossibility. You stop running from challenges and begin to approach them as doors waiting to be unlocked. It is also this belief that sustains you when circumstances do not match your expectations. Life will present delays, detours, and disappointments, but belief in God's will to prosper you keeps your hope alive. Instead of interpreting setbacks as signs of failure, you see them as part of the process. Just as a seed must die in the soil before it grows, your belief helps you trust that hidden growth is happening even when results are not yet visible. This conviction creates patience, and patience produces endurance, which ultimately leads to fulfillment. Finally, when you believe God wants you to prosper, you align yourself with gratitude. You begin to see every small blessing as evidence of His greater plan. This gratitude magnetizes more blessings into your life because a thankful heart attracts abundance. The person who doubts cannot rejoice, but the one who believes lives in daily expectation of God's goodness. And it is this expectation, rooted in faith, that becomes the driving force of prosperity. To prosper in all that you do, you must have a clear and definite purpose. Without purpose, energy is scattered, efforts are wasted, and life becomes a wandering journey instead of a directed mission. A definite purpose gives shape to your days and clarity to your choices. It is like a compass that points you in the right direction, even when the road twists and turns. When you define what you want, life responds with opportunities that match your focus. The one who lives without purpose drifts like a ship without a rudder, but the one who sets a course will reach the harbor, no matter how strong the winds. Writing down your purpose transforms a vague idea into a concrete reality. Thoughts left floating in the mind can fade away, but when they are put on paper, they gain weight and substance. Writing makes your purpose real enough to be seen, read, and remembered every day. It is a declaration to yourself and to God that you are serious about what you are pursuing. This act of clarity stirs determination in the heart because it removes uncertainty and replaces it with direction. Each time you look at those words, your mind recalls the vision and fuels your spirit to keep pressing forward. Clarity is power. A clear purpose simplifies decision-making because you no longer waste energy chasing things that do not align with your vision. You know what to say yes to, and you know what to reject. The distractions that once pulled you away lose their grip because your path is defined. Prosperity requires this sharpness, for without it, time and resources are consumed by trivial pursuits. But with a clear purpose, every step adds up, every effort compounds, and progress becomes inevitable. Prosperity is not an accident, it is the reward of a well-directed life. When your purpose burns within you like fire, it creates passion. This inner flame is what keeps you moving when obstacles rise. Challenges do not discourage you because your purpose is greater than your discomfort. A burning purpose wakes you up early, keeps you focused late into the night, and ignites creativity to solve problems along the way. People are drawn to those who radiate passion, and opportunities are magnetized to those who carry this kind of inner fire. The stronger your purpose burns, the greater your capacity to endure trials and inspire others to walk alongside you. Aligning your purpose with God's will multiplies its power. A purpose rooted only in self-interest may collapse under pressure, but one rooted in divine alignment is unstoppable. When you pray over your vision and commit it to God, you invite His wisdom and favor into your plans. Your steps become guided, your mistakes turn into lessons, and even closed doors redirect you toward better opportunities. God prospers what's aligned with His order, and when your purpose matches His greater plan, nothing can prevent its fulfillment. Lastly, defining and living your purpose gives your life meaning that outlasts wealth itself. Prosperity is more than material gain. It is the joy of knowing you are fulfilling what you were created to do. A definite purpose creates legacy because the impact of your work continues to touch lives even after you are gone. Those who live with purpose prosper in ways that money cannot measure, in influence, in peace, and in fulfillment. To define your purpose, write it clearly, let it burn within you, and pursue it with all your strength. Then prosperity will be the natural result. Every thought you entertain carries a seed within it, a hidden power that has the ability to shape your life. Just as a farmer carefully selects which seeds to plant, you must be deliberate about the thoughts you allow to dwell in your mind. Negative thoughts of fear, doubt, and lack produce a harvest of struggle, while positive thoughts of courage, persistence, and gratitude create a life of growth and prosperity. Your mind is the soil, and it will grow whatever you put into it. The choice of seeds determines whether your future is barren or fruitful. When you consistently plant thoughts of courage, you build the strength to face challenges head on. Life will test you and obstacles will rise against your progress, but courage allows you to keep moving forward instead of retreating. A courageous thought tells you that failure is not the end, but an opportunity to learn and rise again. It keeps you focused on possibilities instead of limitations. The more you water thoughts of courage with action, the stronger your confidence grows until fear loses its control over your decisions. Persistence is another powerful seed that must be planted daily. Great accomplishments are rarely the result of instant success. They are the fruit of steady, determined effort. When you think persistently about your goals, you develop the habit of refusing to quit. Even when the road becomes long and discouraging, persistence keeps you putting one foot in front of the other. Those who feed their minds with persistent thoughts eventually find doors opening that once seemed locked. Prosperity belongs to those who keep pushing when others give up, and that begins in the mind. Gratitude, too, is a seed that multiplies blessings. When you think in gratitude, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already possess. This shift changes your outlook, softens your spirit, and makes you more receptive to new opportunities. Gratitude turns ordinary days into extraordinary ones because it trains your mind to see abundance in small things. The person who lives in gratitude attracts more to be thankful for, while the one who dwells on complaints repels prosperity. Planting gratitude in your thoughts ensures that your heart remains fertile ground for joy and success. In time, these seeds of courage, persistence, and gratitude grow into a rich harvest. Your thoughts influence your actions shape your habits, and your habits create your destiny. By carefully tending the garden of your mind, you align yourself with prosperity in every area of life. Just as a farmer trusts the process of growth even before he sees the sprout, you must trust that the thoughts you plant today will yield the life you desire tomorrow. The harvest always reflects the seeds. Therefore, guard your thoughts, for in them lies the future you are building. The words you speak are not empty sounds. They are carriers of life and direction. Every sentence you utter sends out energy that shapes the atmosphere around you. When you speak words of defeat, you invite defeat into your path, but when you speak words of victory, you attract the strength and resources needed to achieve it. The tongue has the power to bless or curse, to lift or destroy, to heal or to wound. If you desire to prosper in all you do, you must learn to master your speech, for it reveals the state of your heart and sets the course of your destiny. Declaring failure or lack over your life is like planting weeds in a garden you are trying to nurture. Such words choke out growth and prevent the seeds of possibility from flourishing. People often do not realize that by saying, "I can't," "I'll never have enough," or "I'm not capable," they are reinforcing the very conditions they wish to escape. Words spoken in fear and doubt build invisible walls around the future, making it harder to break free. To prosper, you must refuse to allow your tongue to partner with your fears, because fear-fed words strengthen failure. Instead, speak what you want to see, even if it has not yet appeared. Faith is vocal. It expresses itself through affirmations that call things into existence. When you declare, I am capable, I am blessed, I will overcome, you are not lying to yourself, you are aligning yourself with God's truth about your life. These declarations shift your mindset, influence your emotions, and inspire your actions. Over time, your words create an inner environment of expectation, and expectation draws opportunities closer. The words of faith you release today become the victories you celebrate tomorrow. Your speech also has a profound impact on those around you. The way you speak can inspire confidence in others or drain them of hope. When you speak encouragement, you build bridges and open doors that may one day lead back to you. Prosperity is not only about what you receive, but also about the influence you carry. The words you choose can establish you as a leader, someone others trust to bring light and clarity. In this way, your tongue becomes an instrument of prosperity, not just for yourself, but for everyone you touch. Ultimately, guarding your speech is about taking responsibility for the atmosphere you create. When you discipline your tongue to speak life, blessing, and possibility, you align yourself with God's creative power. Just as He spoke the world into being, you shape your world through the words you consistently declare. Speak faith, speak gratitude, speak abundance, and speak victory. As you do, your words will work for you, drawing prosperity into your life and ensuring that what you speak becomes the reality you live. Casual wishes never move mountains because they lack the strength and urgency to push through resistance. A wish is nothing more than a fleeting thought, a passing desire that fades when difficulty appears. But a burning desire is different. It consumes your heart and mind until it becomes part of your identity. It drives you to act when others hesitate, and it keeps you awake at night thinking of ways to advance your purpose. When desire is strong enough, it refuses to accept excuses or limitations because it sees obstacles only as challenges to be conquered. A burning desire fuels persistence. Without it, discouragement easily takes root and people abandon their goals at the first sign of struggle. But when your desire burns deeply within you, giving up does not feel like an option. The fire pushes you to keep going, to try again, to search for another way. Many people stop short of success simply because they never allowed their dream to become strong enough to outlast opposition. A burning desire acts like an inner engine, giving you energy to continue when your body feels tired and your mind feels weary. When that desire is aligned with God's will, it takes on an even greater power. Desire rooted only in selfish ambition often collapses under pressure, but a desire anchored in divine purpose is unshakable. It connects you with a higher calling, and every setback becomes a lesson that guides you closer to fulfillment. God does not ignore a heart that longs to do what is right, to build what is good, and to bless others. When your passion lines up with His plan, you tap into a source of strength that carries you beyond your natural limits. This kind of desire transforms your vision into action. It refuses to let dreams remain only in the imagination. A burning desire compels you to take steps each day, no matter how small, toward the life you see in your heart. It makes you disciplined because the fire inside cannot be satisfied by idleness. Where others procrastinate, you move forward. Where others hesitate, you leap. This consistency, powered by desire, is what separates those who dream from those who prosper. In the end, a burning desire is the bridge between vision and reality. It is the unseen force that makes the impossible possible. Casual wishes vanish with the winds of circumstance, but true desire endures until it manifests. Prosperity requires this kind of inner fire because only a passionate heart has the endurance to press through trials, setbacks, and delays. When you allow your desire to grow strong, to align with God's purpose, and to guide your daily actions, you will discover that no mountain is too high and no dream is beyond reach. Every step you take toward prosperity will be tested because progress always stirs resistance. The moment you decide to grow, obstacles rise as if to measure how serious you are about your goal. Fear whispers that you are not ready, that you may fail, or that the risk is too great. If you allow fear to dominate, you will hesitate, delay, and eventually abandon your path. Fear is a chain that binds the mind, keeping you from walking into the opportunities prepared for you. It convinces you to settle for less, even when more is within your reach. Faith, however, breaks those chains and gives you courage to step forward even when the path is unclear. Faith does not wait for perfect conditions. It acts with trust that God will provide strength and direction along the way. Every great accomplishment is born out of someone taking a step without having all the answers. Faith transforms uncertainty into possibility because it relies not on what is seen, but on what is promised. The one who walks by faith discovers doors opening where walls once stood. When you act with faith, fear loses its power. Fear feeds on inaction, on the hesitation that keeps you standing still. But once you move forward, even with trembling steps, faith grows stronger and fear grows weaker. Action starves fear and nourishes faith. Each time you trust enough to take another step, you build momentum, and momentum is the enemy of fear. A person who keeps moving in faith cannot remain bound by the weight of doubt. Faith also sharpens your perspective in times of challenge. Where fear sees danger, faith sees opportunity. Where fear sees impossibility, faith sees God's power at work. This shift in perspective changes how you respond to difficulties. Instead of retreating, you lean forward. Instead of complaining, you expect solutions. Acting with faith aligns your mindset with victory, while fear conditions your heart for defeat. The difference between success and failure often lies in which of these voices you choose to follow. Ultimately, faith is the key that unlocks the gates of success. Prosperity is not reserved for the fearless. It is reserved for those who choose to trust even in the presence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. When you let faith guide your steps, you walk into doors that fear would have kept closed forever. Each act of faith carries you closer to your destiny, proving that the way to prosper is not through avoidance of fear, but through boldness to act beyond it. Prosperity is never the result of a single moment. It is the fruit of consistent choices made day after day. People often look for sudden breakthroughs or overnight success, but the truth is that lasting prosperity is built quietly through discipline. Each small decision you make, whether to rise early or sleep late, to save or to spend carelessly, to work diligently or waste time, creates a pattern that shapes your future. The person who prospers is not the one who waits for luck, but the one who trains their habits until success becomes a natural outcome. Daily discipline creates structure for growth. Just as a tree grows stronger because it is rooted deeply in the soil, your life becomes stronger when your habits are rooted in consistency. Reading, learning, practicing gratitude, planning your time, these may seem small and ordinary, but together they form the framework for extraordinary results. Discipline is like the scaffolding that supports a building under construction. Without it, even the best intentions collapse under pressure, but with it, your dreams have the strength to rise. The danger of neglecting discipline is that bad habits will form in its place. If you do not control your time, distractions will control it for you. If you do not discipline your mind, negative thoughts will take root. Prosperity cannot thrive in disorder, and disorder is always the result of undisciplined living. Success demands structure, and discipline provides that structure. You cannot live carelessly 6 days a week and expect the seventh to bring prosperity. Discipline requires sacrifice, but the sacrifice is temporary while the reward is lasting. Discipline also multiplies results over time. A single act of diligence may not appear significant, but when repeated daily, it compounds into greatness. 10 minutes of reading each day becomes a library of wisdom. Small savings each week become financial security. Daily effort in your work develops mastery that sets you apart. Prosperity is not an extraordinary talent, but in ordinary actions repeated with faithfulness. Those who master their habits master their future. At its core, discipline is a form of respect for your time, for your purpose, and for the gifts God has placed in you. It shows that you are serious about what you desire, and it honors the opportunities you have been given. Discipline may feel difficult in the moment, but it frees you in the long run because it breaks the chains of laziness, procrastination, and regret. To prosper in all you do, you must build the discipline to rise daily, stay focused, and do what needs to be done. In time, the reward of that discipline will be prosperity that endures. The people you surround yourself with shape the atmosphere of your life more than you may realize. Their words, attitudes, and habits influence your thinking, your energy, and even your vision of what is possible. When you walk with those who inspire, encourage, and challenge you to grow, you naturally rise to higher levels. But when you keep company with those who constantly complain, doubt, or discourage, your spirit becomes heavy and your progress slows. Prosperity is not built in isolation, but it can be destroyed by the wrong associations. Choosing the right companions means seeking out those who share your vision and values. They do not have to be identical to you, but they should believe in growth, discipline, and purpose. Being around people who are striving to improve their lives awakens the same drive in you. Their successes inspire you, and their determination reminds you that perseverance pays off. These are the kinds of relationships that multiply your potential instead of diminishing it. On the other hand, negative associations drain your spirit. A single discouraging voice can plant seeds of doubt that take root in your mind. If you allow yourself to spend too much time with people who constantly focus on failure, you may begin to accept their limitations as your own. Such individuals are like weights tied to your ankles, keeping you from running freely toward your destiny. To prosper, you must sometimes make the hard choice of distancing yourself from relationships that hinder your growth. The right people will not only support you, but also challenge you. True friends do not flatter you into comfort. They push you to see beyond your excuses and demand the best from you. They will celebrate your victories, but also correct you when you wander off course. These challenges may sting in the moment, but they sharpen you, just as iron sharpens iron. To prosper fully, you need companions who help refine your character as much as they encourage your dreams. In the end, your circle of influence becomes a reflection of your future. If you walk with wise, you will grow wise. If you walk with the careless, you will suffer loss. Relationships are not neutral. They either pull you forward or hold you back. To prosper in all you do, surround yourself with those who lift your spirit, fuel your vision, and remind you of your higher calling. When you choose wisely, your associations will become a source of strength, guidance, and encouragement that carries you further than you could ever go alone. Prayer is often misunderstood as a mere request list, a way of presenting needs and desires before God. But true prayer is much deeper. It is an act of alignment. When you pray with sincerity, you do not simply ask for what you want. You bring your heart into harmony with God's will. Prayer tunes your spirit to the rhythm of the divine, allowing you to see life not through fear or impatience, but through faith and clarity. It reshapes your desires, purifies your motives, and gives you strength to pursue the path of prosperity with peace. Through prayer, you gain perspective. Many times the answers you seek are already within your reach, but your vision is clouded by worry or distraction. Prayer clears that fog. It opens your mind to wisdom and reveals possibilities you could not see before. When you kneel in prayer, you quiet the noise of the world and allow God's voice to speak to your heart. That stillness gives you direction, and direction is essential for prosperity. A life without guidance wanders, but a life shaped by prayer is guided with purpose. Prayer also fuels perseverance. On the journey to success, discouragement is inevitable. There will be delays, setbacks, and moments when it seems easier to quit. In such times, prayer renews your strength. It reminds you that you are not walking alone, that divine help is near, and that your struggle is not in vain. Prayer recharges your spirit when fatigue sets in and fills you with courage when fear tries to control you. The strength that comes from prayer cannot be matched by any motivational words alone. It is a divine energy that lifts you when your own strength runs dry. Another power of prayer is the peace it brings. Prosperity without peace is a burden, not a blessing. Many chase success so intensely that they lose their calmness, but prayer anchors the soul. It brings serenity in the middle of chaos, assuring you that the same God who brought you this far will carry you further. This peace steadies your emotions, sharpens your decisions, and keeps you balanced so you can enjoy the prosperity you are building instead of being consumed by anxiety. Peace is prosperity of the heart, and prayer is its gateway. Ultimately, prayer is the bridge that connects human effort with divine power. Your plans, discipline, and hard work are vital, but prayer lifts them into a higher dimension where God's favor multiplies their effect. Through prayer, ordinary actions produce extraordinary results because they are infused with grace. When you pray, you are not only asking for blessings, you are opening the door for God's presence to walk with you in everything you do. That alignment guarantees that your prosperity will not only be achieved, but also sustained because it rests on the solid foundation of divine partnership. Most people underestimate how close they are to success when they give up. The moment of greatest pressure is often the moment just before breakthrough. Challenges intensify not to defeat you, but to test whether you truly have the endurance to carry what you are asking for. Many walk away when the finish line is just around the corner because fatigue clouds their vision. Prosperity requires the kind of persistence that keeps pressing forward, even when results seem delayed, even when progress feels invisible. Victory belongs to those who refuse to quit. Endurance builds character in ways that ease never can. Every obstacle you overcome strengthens your resolve, sharpens your mind, and deepens your capacity to handle more. If prosperity came instantly, it would crush you because you would lack the strength to sustain it. Persistence develops that strength. Each time you choose to move forward in the face of resistance, you prove to yourself that you can withstand difficulty. This inner confidence becomes a powerful tool, one that no setback can steal from you. The divine path is not meant to be smooth, but purposeful. Delays and hardships are part of the preparation process. They stretch your faith, forcing you to depend on God's timing rather than your own. They also refine your vision, separating shallow desires from burning purpose. When you persist, you demonstrate that your dream is not a passing wish, but a commitment worth sacrificing for. That perseverance honors God and opens the way for His blessings to flow more fully into your life. Persistence also creates momentum. At first, progress may feel painfully slow, but each step builds on the last. Efforts compound, lessons accumulate, and eventually the weight of your consistency tips the scale in your favor. Many breakthroughs look sudden to outsiders, but they are the result of countless small actions sustained over time. Persistence transforms those invisible efforts into visible success. Without it, your labor is wasted. With it, your labor becomes unstoppable. When you press on until the victory is yours, you experience prosperity not only in the outcome, but also in the process. You learn patience, resilience, and faith, qualities that enrich your life far beyond material gain. Persistence ensures that success, once attained, is deeply appreciated and wisely managed. The person who endures until breakthrough becomes more than prosperous in wealth. They prosper in character, in wisdom, and in spirit. This is why the divine path demands endurance, because lasting prosperity is not for those who try once and quit, but for those who continue until success is no longer a question, only a reality. Trials are often misunderstood as punishments, as if every difficulty is a sign of failure or rejection. But in truth, struggles are tools used to shape you into someone capable of carrying greater blessings. Just as a blacksmith places metal into fire to strengthen it, God allows you to walk through challenges to refine your character. What feels like breaking is often building, and what feels like loss is often preparation for increase. If you can shift your perspective to see adversity not as destruction but as training, you will rise stronger on the other side. Every blessing requires responsibility, and without preparation, blessings can become burdens. Struggles build the discipline and humility needed to handle prosperity wisely. A person who has never faced difficulty may squander success because they lack perspective, but one who has endured hardship appreciates and protects what they receive. Trials strip away pride, teach patience, and deepen gratitude. They cultivate resilience. The quality that ensures prosperity does not slip through your hands the moment challenges appear again. Adversity also reveals what is inside of you. Pressure exposes weaknesses, but it also uncovers hidden strength. You never truly know how much faith, courage, or determination you carry until it is tested. Challenges become mirrors, showing you where growth is needed and where strength has already been developed. By embracing adversity as training, you stop resisting the process and start learning from it. Each lesson becomes a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and maturity. Through struggle, you also discover God's presence in deeper ways. In moments when your own strength is not enough, you learn to depend on Him fully. You find that His grace is sufficient and His power is made perfect in your weakness. This dependency is not meant to weaken you, but to anchor you. It reminds you that prosperity is not achieved by human effort alone, but through divine partnership. Trials teach you to trust, and trust is the foundation of enduring prosperity. When you emerge from adversity, you carry more than survival. You carry strength, wisdom, and the capacity to handle greater opportunities. Blessings that once seemed too heavy to bear become manageable because you have been trained by struggle. Trials do not come to destroy you, but to prepare you, so when God places more in your hands, you are ready to hold it without fear of losing it. By embracing adversity as training, you step into prosperity not as someone unprepared, but as someone sharpened, tested, and ready to thrive. The image you hold in your mind is a powerful force, one that quietly shapes your actions and decisions long before results appear. When you see yourself already prospering, you begin to act in ways that align with that vision. The mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real, so the pictures you feed it become the blueprint for your future. If you constantly visualize failure, hesitation, and defeat, your behavior will unconsciously create those outcomes. But if you consistently see yourself succeeding, strong, and prosperous, your actions will naturally move you in that direction. Visualization fuels belief, and belief fuels action. When you carry an inner picture of prosperity, doubt loses its grip on your mind. You begin to expect success instead of fearing failure. This expectation changes the way you approach opportunities because you no longer shrink back in uncertainty. Instead, you lean forward with confidence, knowing that what you see in your heart is already on its way to becoming real. Prosperity starts as a mental picture before it manifests in your life. Seeing yourself prospering also helps you endure setbacks. When life throws delays and obstacles in your path, the vision in your mind reminds you of where you are headed. It keeps you from confusing temporary struggle with permanent defeat. You can look beyond your current circumstances and hold on to the image of the future you know belongs to you. That vision acts as an anchor, keeping you steady when everything around you feels unstable. It whispers, "This is not the end. Keep going," and gives you the strength to press on. Visualization not only strengthens your inner confidence, but also attracts opportunities. When your mind is saturated with images of success, you become more alert to possibilities that align with your vision. You notice connections, ideas, and resources that you might otherwise overlook. People are drawn to those who carry themselves with quiet confidence, and that confidence comes from knowing in advance who you are becoming. By seeing yourself prosperous, you project prosperity, and that projection invites it closer. The reality you shape in your hands always begins with the reality you carry in your mind. Prosperity does not happen by chance. It begins with imagination, is sustained by belief, and is fulfilled through consistent action. If you want to prosper in all you do, feed your mind with the picture of your desired future every single day. See yourself strong, successful, and blessed. Hold that vision until it becomes so real in your heart that your actions have no choice but to bring it to life. Ignorance always creates limitation because it blinds you to opportunities that exist all around you. A person without knowledge may have potential, but they remain trapped because they cannot see beyond their current situation. Prosperity requires vision, and vision is sharpened by wisdom. The moment you choose to invest in learning, you open doors that were previously invisible. Knowledge allows you to recognize opportunities, make better decisions, and avoid costly mistakes that ignorance would lead you into. Every bit of wisdom you acquire becomes a tool you can use to build your future. Just as a craftsman cannot build without proper instruments, you cannot prosper without equipping your mind. Reading, studying, asking questions, and observing those who have walked the path before you are ways of gathering tools. Each lesson adds to your ability to create, to manage, and to grow. Prosperity is not simply about working harder, it is about working smarter, and that requires knowledge. When you invest in knowledge, you also expand your confidence. Many people hesitate because they feel unprepared or uncertain. But the more you understand, the more courage you have to act. Knowledge removes unnecessary fear because it gives you clarity. It equips you to handle challenges calmly instead of being overwhelmed by them. A mind filled with wisdom cannot be easily shaken, and this stability is one of the keys to lasting prosperity. Knowledge also multiplies your value. In every field of life, business, relationships, personal growth, the one who knows more has the advantage. People seek out those with insight and are willing to reward them for their expertise. By continuously learning, you set yourself apart, creating opportunities that others cannot access. Prosperity flows toward those who prepare themselves, and preparation is built through the constant pursuit of wisdom. Ultimately, knowledge is not just for personal gain, but also for service. The more you know, the more you can contribute to others, and prosperity always flows where value is given. Wisdom allows you to bless others with guidance, solutions, and leadership. And in return, blessings flow back into your life. To prosper in all you do, never stop learning. Treat your mind as the most important investment you will ever make, because ignorance will keep you small, but wisdom will expand your capacity to thrive. True prosperity is never meant to stop with you. It is designed to flow through you. When you hold tightly to what you have, fearing that giving will leave you empty, you limit the flow of blessings in your life. But when you open your hand to serve others, you create space for more to be poured in. Giving is a law of increase. The more you release, the more you receive, not always in the same form, but always in ways that enrich your life. Prosperity grows when it is shared, because generosity multiplies what it touches. Serving others generously shifts your focus from self to significance. A life consumed only with personal gain becomes shallow and unsatisfying. But when you contribute to the well-being of others, your own life expands in meaning. Every act of service is a seed planted in the soil of humanity, and those seeds return as a harvest of joy, fulfillment, and unexpected blessings. The satisfaction that comes from lifting others cannot be bought with wealth, yet it has the power to attract greater opportunities and open doors of favor. Generosity also builds trust and influence. People are naturally drawn to those who give without selfish motives, and they remember those who added value to their lives. Your reputation becomes one of integrity and kindness, qualities that open paths to relationships, partnerships, and resources that money alone could never secure. Prosperity is not only about what you accumulate, but also about the networks and goodwill that grow around you when you live with a giving spirit. When you serve others, you align yourself with divine principles. God blesses those who bless others because generosity reflects His nature. He is a giver of life, wisdom, and provision, and when you live in that same spirit, you connect yourself with His flow of abundance. The more you pour out in service, the more God entrusts to you, because He knows your heart will use prosperity as a channel for good. This alignment ensures that your blessings are not temporary, but continually replenished. Ultimately, serving generously transforms prosperity into legacy. Wealth and success gained for yourself may fade, but the lives you touch through service carry your impact forward long after you are gone. Each act of kindness becomes a ripple that spreads far beyond what you can see. To prosper in all you do, you must recognize that your abundance is not only for you, it is also for the upliftment of others. When you give freely, you step into the flow of divine multiplication, where prosperity not only sustains you, but continues to grow and spread through every life you reach. Gratitude has the power to transform the way you see your world. When you choose to focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, your perspective shifts from scarcity to abundance. The person who constantly complains or compares themselves with others closes the door to prosperity because they cannot recognize the blessings already in their possession. But when you cultivate thankfulness, even small things begin to feel like treasures, and that sense of abundance creates an atmosphere for more blessings to flow into your life. Living with gratitude also produces joy that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Many chase prosperity thinking it will bring happiness, but in reality, happiness attracts prosperity. When you are grateful, you radiate a positive energy that changes the way you approach each day. Problems lose their power to discourage you because your heart is anchored in appreciation. This inner joy makes you stronger, more resilient, and more attractive to opportunities that align with your spirit. Gratitude magnetizes prosperity because it draws people and blessings toward you. No one is drawn to a spirit of bitterness or entitlement, but everyone is uplifted by someone who acknowledges the good in their life. Thankful people inspire trust and admiration, and this opens doors to relationships, support, and resources that others might overlook. Gratitude turns you into a magnet for favor because it reflects humility and an awareness that all good things ultimately come from a higher source. When you practice gratitude, you also train your mind to recognize opportunities instead of obstacles. A grateful heart notices doors that others miss because it sees life as full of possibilities. Instead of being blinded by frustration, you see solutions, ideas, and pathways forward. Gratitude clears away negativity and allows clarity to shine, which is essential if you want to prosper in all you do. The mind fixed on blessings is the mind most capable of creating more of them. Ultimately, gratitude is not only an attitude, but a spiritual law. The more you give thanks for what you have, the more you position yourself to receive greater. Just as a parent delights in giving more to a thankful child, so too does God entrust more to those who honor Him with grateful hearts. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you are going, turning each step into a blessing and each day into an opportunity. It transforms prosperity from something you chase into something you naturally attract. Indecision is one of the greatest enemies of prosperity because it paralyzes progress before it even begins. When a person is trapped in hesitation, they miss the opportunities that pass before them. Life does not wait for the hesitant. It rewards those who are willing to step forward in faith. Every moment of doubt, every delay in choosing allows fear to creep in and rob you of the blessings meant for you. Boldness, even with the risk of failure, carries you closer to growth than standing still in uncertainty ever could. When you choose boldly, you signal to life that you are ready for progress. Decision is the spark that sets everything in motion. Without it, dreams remain dreams, visions remain visions, and nothing tangible is ever built. Many people spend their entire lives waiting for perfect clarity before acting, yet clarity often comes after movement, not before it. By stepping out, you allow God to adjust your path, but if you refuse to move, even God cannot steer you. Bold choice is the doorway through which divine guidance can enter. Trusting God with the outcome is the antidote to fear in decision-making. The reason many hesitate is that they are consumed with the possibility of making the wrong choice. But when you commit your steps to God, you no longer bear the burden of perfection. Even if the path you choose has obstacles, He uses every step to shape you, strengthen you, and redirect you where necessary. Faith allows you to decide without fear because you know that no matter what, the outcome is guided by a higher hand. Bold decisions also strengthen your character. Each time you confront hesitation and move forward, you train yourself to act with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move through it. Over time, this habit of choosing boldly builds confidence and resilience. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle challenges, someone who does not shrink back when faced with uncertainty. This identity shift is crucial for prosperity because success requires continual, decisive action. Indecision, on the other hand, leads to regret. Opportunities once missed rarely return in the same way. Many people look back on their lives with sorrow, not over the mistakes they made, but over the chances they never took. Fear disguised as caution robbed them of growth. Choosing boldly eliminates this regret because even when things do not work out as expected, you gain wisdom, experience, and strength that prepare you for future opportunities. Every step taken adds to your growth, while indecision leaves you stagnant. The path to prosper in all you do requires movement, faith, and courage. Life is too short to let hesitation hold you hostage. When you make a decision, trust that God will meet you in that step and guide your journey. You may not see the full road ahead, but boldness opens the way, and divine guidance ensures you do not walk alone. Choose boldly, act faithfully, and trust completely, for indecision is the thief of opportunity, but faith-filled action is the key to prosperity. Time is the one resource that can never be regained once it is lost, making it life's most valuable asset. Every moment you spend is a piece of your destiny, either invested wisely or thrown away. When you treat time casually, you diminish its power, but when you honor it with purpose, it becomes a tool that shapes your future. Prosperity does not come from luck or chance, but from the consistent use of time directed toward meaningful goals. Wasting time is equal to wasting opportunity. Each hour that slips by without purpose is an hour that could have been invested in growth, learning, building, or serving. Many people dream of success but sabotage themselves by misusing the very time that could create it. The difference between those who prosper and those who remain stagnant often comes down to how they manage the same 24 hours given to all. Time, when wasted, becomes a silent thief that robs you of destiny. Using time with focus multiplies its impact. A distracted person may spend long hours without producing anything meaningful, while a focused person accomplishes great things in less time. Purpose gives direction to every action, and focus ensures energy is not scattered. When you align your time with your higher calling, each moment becomes a step forward, and no effort is wasted. Prosperity is built upon the disciplined choice to use time intentionally every single day. Time also demands prioritization. Not everything that calls for your attention deserves your energy. Prosperity requires you to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, what advances your purpose and what only distracts you. Saying no to time wasters is as important as saying yes to opportunities. When you protect your time, you protect your destiny because you reserve your strength for the things that carry eternal value and lasting reward. Ultimately, honoring time is a form of honoring God, for He entrusted it to you as a gift. Every day is a new chance to invest in the vision He placed within you. If you use it wisely, time becomes the soil in which prosperity grows, producing fruit that blesses not only your life, but also the lives of others. When you recognize that time is your life in motion, you begin to treat it with reverence, discipline, and purpose, and in doing so, you unlock the path to prosper in all you do. Prosperity is never drawn to the one who gives only a fraction of themselves. Life has a way of mirroring back the energy and commitment we put into it. When a person approaches their work, their relationships, or even their dreams with a spirit of mediocrity, the results they reap are just as shallow. But when you decide that everything you do will carry the mark of excellence, you begin to align yourself with the flow of abundance. Prosperity recognizes and rewards those who refuse to settle for half-hearted effort. Half-hearted effort not only weakens results, but also dulls the spirit. When you know in your heart that you have not given your best, there remains an emptiness no success can fill. This inner dissatisfaction eats away at confidence and motivation, making it even harder to strive for more. On the other hand, giving your best produces a deep satisfaction even before the rewards arrive. That sense of pride in your work fuels you with greater energy to keep pressing forward. Giving your best builds a reputation that precedes you. People are naturally drawn to those who embody commitment and excellence. Employers, clients, mentors, and even friends are far more likely to invest in someone they know will not cut corners. Prosperity often flows through the hands of others, and those hands open when they trust in your dedication. By consistently showing up with full effort, you create opportunities that half-hearted people will never see. When you give your best, you also activate hidden potential within yourself. Excellence has a way of uncovering strengths you didn't know you had. It pushes you to grow, adapt, and rise above limitations. Mediocrity keeps talent buried, but wholehearted effort stretches it until it becomes refined. Prosperity is not just about what you receive externally, but about who you become internally, and giving your best shapes you into someone capable of handling greater blessings. It is also important to remember that excellence is a spiritual principle. The act of giving your best is a form of honor to God, to yourself, and to others. It demonstrates gratitude for the gifts, time, and opportunities entrusted to you. When you work with this mindset, you rise above the ordinary and place yourself in alignment with divine favor. Prosperity flows more easily when you live with integrity and diligence, knowing that what you sow with excellence will return to you multiplied. The path to prosper in all you do, then, is not marked by shortcuts or half efforts, but by the decision to pour your heart into everything placed in your hands. When you give your best, even in small things, you prepare yourself for greater things. Prosperity responds to effort, to faith, and to excellence. And when you embody these consistently, your life becomes a magnet for growth, favor, and abundance. Expectation is not just a passive wish, but an active force that shapes reality. When you merely hope, you leave room for doubt to linger in your mind, but when you expect, you align your thoughts and actions with certainty. Expectation is the soil in which faith grows, and it sends a clear signal to both your spirit and the world around you that you are ready to receive. Prosperity begins to draw near the moment you shift from vague hope to confident expectation. When you expect good things to happen, your behavior begins to change. You take bolder steps, you seize opportunities, and you carry yourself with a quiet confidence that attracts the right people and resources into your life. Expectation fuels your courage, making you willing to take risks that a doubtful heart would never consider. It pushes you into action, and action is the bridge between vision and reality. Without expectation, even great dreams remain trapped in imagination. Expectation also reshapes the atmosphere around you. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate belief in a brighter future. When you speak with confidence, when you live as though prosperity is inevitable, you inspire trust and inspire others to join in your vision. Doors that once seemed closed suddenly begin to open because your expectation makes you persistent, hopeful, and resilient in the face of challenges. The world responds differently to a person who expects success compared to one who merely wishes for it. At a spiritual level, expectation is an expression of faith. It is believing not just that God can bless you, but that He will. Hope whispers that it is possible, but expectation declares that it is certain. This attitude draws divine favor because it shows trust in promises greater than your circumstances. When you expect prosperity with a grateful and faithful heart, you create space for miracles, for what you believe in deeply begins to take form in your life. It is important to guard your expectation carefully. Doubt, fear, and negative voices can weaken it, pulling you back into hesitation and uncertainty. The mind is fertile ground, and whatever seeds are planted, whether expectation of good or fear of failure, will eventually bear fruit. Choosing to maintain expectation requires discipline, constant focus on what is possible, and the courage to silence voices of limitation. Expectation must be fed daily through words of faith, visions of success, and actions of consistency. Ultimately, expectation is the doorway to manifestation because it aligns every part of you, your mind, your actions, your faith, with the reality you seek. Prosperity cannot thrive where doubt dominates, but it flourishes where expectation lives. To prosper in all you do, you must carry yourself with a certainty that what you desire is already on its way. Walk with expectation, act with expectation, and speak with expectation, for in doing so, you invite prosperity to meet you in every step you take. Prosperity without humility often becomes a trap that blinds the heart. When a person achieves success and begins to believe it was earned solely by their own strength, they lose sight of the true source of every blessing. This mindset breeds pride, and pride always isolates, distorts judgment, and eventually destroys. Humility, on the other hand, keeps success in perspective. It reminds us that no matter how far we rise, we remain dependent on a greater power who opens doors and sustains opportunities. Humility does not weaken a person, it strengthens them. The humble individual recognizes their talents and achievements, but does not use them to elevate themselves above others. Instead, they remain approachable, teachable, and grateful, which allows prosperity to keep flowing. Those who walk in humility can carry great success without being crushed by the weight of arrogance. Prosperity endures in their lives because it is not poisoned by selfishness or pride. True humility acknowledges the source of every good thing. It is an attitude of gratitude toward God, understanding that without His grace, time, and provision, none of our efforts would bear lasting fruit. This acknowledgement creates a heart posture that invites even greater blessings because it shows readiness to steward them wisely. Success that honors its source becomes a testimony rather than a stumbling block. Humility also preserves relationships, which are often the very channels through which prosperity flows. A proud heart alienates people, but a humble spirit draws them closer. When success does not make you arrogant, others are willing to trust you, support you, and celebrate you. Prosperity without humility may open doors temporarily, but they soon close when pride takes over. Prosperity with humility, however, keeps doors open for generations. Another strength of humility is that it keeps you grounded in service. Prosperity should not only benefit the one who has it, but also uplift those around them. The humble understand this truth and use their blessings to inspire, help, and empower others. In doing so, they not only protect their own success, but also multiply it, for generosity always returns multiplied blessings. Prosperity poisoned by arrogance hoards and withers, but prosperity with humility shares and multiplies. In the end, prosperity without humility is short-lived, but prosperity with humility becomes a legacy. Recognizing the source of all blessings ensures that your success is not built on fragile pride, but on unshakable gratitude and reverence. When you prosper and remain humble, you create a life that others respect, God honors, and the future remembers. Humility is the safeguard that turns prosperity from a fleeting possession into an enduring treasure. My friends, prosperity is not reserved for a select few. It is a divine promise waiting for those who will align themselves with these principles and walk boldly in faith. If you dare to believe, if you dare to act, and if you dare to persist, then you will prosper in all you do.